How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising and the second part of Season 3's Transfer Special. We are back in the JFL. We added some new players at the last episode, not necessarily in positions I thought we were going to add players. And in spite of the fact that we did lose our star man in Watanabe, I do feel like the squad is still in a fairly strong position. Now, of course, last episode we did make some notable new additions to the team. We strengthened the attacking area with Takagi. We also added Kayanoki and also Komori in the wide areas, as well as Yoshikawa, who I'm hoping is going to be the centre mid of our dreams one day, eventually. Right now, he's probably the centre mid of nightmares. That said, heading into today's transfer special, there's a few positions I really want to address, namely the defence. We need really maybe a centre-back, a left-back. Top priority, of course, is a goalkeeper. And in spite of the fact that Sasaki has already agreed to join us, I do feel like I should probably go out there and just make sure there's no more goalkeeper. So we've got this transfer just constantly being delayed between now and the start of the season, which is in 6 weeks. 3 players that I really need to pick up in those 3 defensive areas. There are a couple of players in the B team that I wouldn't mind getting rid of to free up some wages. And in terms of the current wage budget, we've still got a really hefty amount of money at our disposal. Over £2,000. Realistically, I could bring in a good few new starters with that, or maybe just 1 or 2 really big upgrades. At the start of last episode, our media prediction was 11th. If we go to the JFL now and look at the season preview, we have climbed all the way up to 6th. Clearly, we're adding strength to the team, but if we want to challenge the likes of Nankatsu and Tochigi, who are kind of fairly local to us, we need to continue to improve. Only the top team goes up automatically. That's the lie of the land going into things today. Let's run the intro and get straight into it. Goes without saying, as always, if you are still enjoying the series, if you enjoy these transfer specials, go down below the video, leave a like, helps feed it into the algorithm. These videos are typically the ones which are better watched by you guys, and I feel like they always act as good jumping on points to come back to the save game. So in order for us to go out there and find the algorithm ultras that maybe didn't see the end of last year, leaving a like just it increases the chance it appears on their homepage just a little bit. Now, I was just evaluating our squad and the current situation just before I hit start record, mostly thinking about where I might want to add some players, and I kind of came to the conclusion that Kim is a very, very capable centre-back, and as you can see today, I am wearing my South Korea kit in honour of Kim, and at right-back, Mitsuhashi, I think, is a serviceable player at this level, but the likes of Kobayashi, who was our starting left-back, I've kind of looked at and gone, you know what, could be a very good option on the bench, but if there's the ability to improve on him, probably need to do that. I feel like left back could be the order of the day. If that does happen, maybe I do look to move on to someone like Aoki. Similarly, at centre back, we've got some good little centre backs, but when you actually look at the star ratings, you can see there is a big drop off between Kim and, of course, Yoshikawa, who I brought in to be the centre mid, and kind of the rest of the players. Tamir was our centre back to end last year, and he came in and he definitely had a good impact, but when you look at him, he is a pretty one-dimensional player. I mentioned this last episode. I feel like at the level we're now approaching, you need players that can do a little bit of everything. In the super lower leagues of Football Manager, you can kind of just get away with a centre-back like this. That's not really the case. He probably won't even make the bench to me here, mostly because Messiah here can currently already play centre-mid and centre-back and defensive mid naturally. I feel like versatility is still the name of the game. Sadly, in the JFL division, you still only get 7 subs. You know, I feel like when I've managed in the Premier League for a few years, I get used to 9 subs. Don't have that luxury here. And of course, the other position, I've not really talked about goalkeepers. Yeah, we have Matsuzawa. I want to get a new goalkeeper. That's definitely needed today. Now, of course, last episode, I did set up some recruitment focuses. These have been ongoing and occasionally throwing up some players. In fact, there's some players there we might have to take a look at in just a moment. But actually, I feel like the best way we found we were finding players was just on the scouting overview screen. And under scouting recommendations, there was lots of free agent players just being recommended to us that we were finding all out about. In fact, you can see here, when I sort by ability, I think there's some new players since last episode that have appeared, all just being offered as free agents. Sadly, a lot of these have not gone to university and instead have come from the high school teams where they do seem to have higher wage demands. And additionally, a lot of these are more attacking players, although I can see there are some centre-backs here, including Yana Gisawa. This guy looks quite good. He looks very good, doesn't he? He's 18. Now, of course, we're looking for someone to partner Kim. If I just compare him with Kim, he is very, very comparable, in fact. And at 18, he kind of looks quite good. He also does want to be a star player and has a lot of other demands. This always scares me a little bit. Don't know about anyone else. You see a player, you think they're going to be good. You get to this screen here and they ask for some mental stuff. It immediately just makes me panic slightly. But maybe he's going to have reasonable wage demands. He wants a minimum release clause to teams in higher divisions. I really don't like it. I feel like we're at a point now where if I sign players, a bit like we saw with Watanabe, we are going to appear on the radar of kind of J2 and J3 teams. And the reality is the JFL, the division we're in, is kind of the last non-professional tier, although there are professional teams at this level. The reality is the money definitely scales up when you kind of hit the second and top tier of Japan especially. And if we have good players with release clauses, they are very likely to get plucked away by those players. So as good as this guy looks, the release clause just immediately makes me a little bit scared. What I will try and do, I suppose, is just offer him a trial. I wonder, actually, instead of going through all these players one at a time, should I just offer them all trials? Do you reckon they'll actually want to come? There's a lot of players here that I'm being offered as free agents. Knowing my luck, a lot of these are just going to turn down the 4-week trial, but we'll see what we can do. If they turn me down, I'll go back through this list. Also, while we're here, I'm just going to check, is there any other players? Sasaki, the goalkeeper that we're looking to sign, is here. There is Rio, who I looked at last episode, who's very, very good, and I do I have a bid on Rio? I have the trial offer. I was sat thinking, I definitely didn't leave a bid on him last episode because he wanted too much money. Rio's very good, isn't he? If I did want a bit of depth, this guy could be very good. Masayuki Nakamura, 18 years old, can play right back and left back. That's kind of exciting. I've offered him a try. His physicals are a little bit not so good, but for a bit of depth, he could be a good alternative to Kobayashi as kind of just a super versatile wing back. There's loads of right backs I'm noticing in this list. There's not many centre backs. Also, there are more centre backs. We have here Ishizuka. That's a fun name to say, isn't it? He's not bad either. You know what? I've made trial offers for all these players. Let's just hit continue once and see, do these players actually want to join me on trial? The ones that have been rejected are players already at clubs, so not surprising that they've rejected the offer for me to trial their players. Also, Hattori, I realised at the end of last episode, after I hit stop record, was still just at the club. His contract expired at the end of the year. He was making £200 a week. I've kicked him out. And looking at things here, Takahashi, who was one of the players who I offered a trial to, he's moved on. One or two players do actually seem to want to go on trial with me, so that's exciting. Let's see if any of these guys are actually any good. I'm actually surprised how many of these players want to join me on trial. Maybe they'll lower their demands by joining me. Obviously, some of them have turned me down, which is a bit saddening, but on the whole, there's a lot of players here who are interested in Tokyo 23. I almost wonder if the ones that have turned down the option of a trial are the players that I should be more interested in. I looked at that guy, Nanaka, previously. Tsutsui? You're not very good. I was wondering if there was any rhyme or reason to the players that rejected me. I think it's mostly players who either think they're too good and they're not as good as they think they are, or I've already pissed off. Look at all these trials. Should we just sign them all? Just get brand new first team. Why not? Also, I've noticed a lot of strikers in this list and a lot of wingers. I really don't need those kind of players. Namata here, apparently is a centre-back. I'm going to tell you now, not a centre-back, is he? He is definitely more of a left wing-back kind of player with his decent crossing. No real aerial ability. His heading is particularly poor. I suppose the issue here is, whilst I'm looking for a left-back, how much of an upgrade is he actually on my current option? And the answer is, compared to Kobayashi, he probably is an upgrade, but Kobayashi's on £120 as a backup, and this bloke, he wants to be a no-nonsense centre-back. He's also got mercenary personality, which scares me. I will say, that is a very reasonable wage demand, isn't it? That is very reasonable, although I do need him to add an extra optional year. Can I sneak a couple of quid off? 170, come on, help me save some pennies. Thank you, Masaru Numata. I feel like his name reminds me of Hakuna Matata, and I can definitely make a pun out of it, but whether or not that's a reason to sign a player, I'm not sure. Also, I've made an offer there for the first centre-back that I've seen that I've clicked on. There's loads of other centre-backs who look quite good as well who have come to us. And then there's this guy. He's not a good centre-back. I'm just looking at this list of trialists here. It's absurd how good some of these players are. I mentioned Nakamura before as maybe a versatile full-back option. If he wants to be a backup, I'd be keen. He actually, according to my staff, is a J3 player. I think they're being very, very generous there. He really thinks he's quite good. I don't think this guy's as good as he thinks he is. £650. You know what, Nakamura? No thank you. Ishizuka's the centre-back who I said had a very fun name. 21 years old. He actually looks very, very good. He's a similar mould of player to Kim. I don't think he's quite as good with the ball at his feet, but you can see in terms of the kind of the polygon shape in the defence of it, it's similar. He's better defensively, better physicals, better mentals. I kind of like the look of Takeshi here, and also he's got the name Takeshi. It reminds me of the old TV show Takeshi's Castle that used to be shown in England. did. I think it had a different name in America. I think it was called like Most Extreme Ultimate Challenge. And actually the original series in Japan that aired in the late 80s had a different name of its own. I like the look of Takeshi here. According to our staff, he's a good J3 player. He's also super consistent, professional personality, and could improve a lot. Given the fact he's 21, how much of that potential he's going to fulfill, I suppose, is a bit of a question mark. But I really like the look of this guy. Takeshi, please have reasonable wage demands. £375 for this guy. He does want a sell-on clause and a promotional wage rise, which I don't love. But a 3-year deal, I'll give you £400 for that, mate. I would like it as well if you'd add, you know, an optional 2-year extension. Takeshi, I want you to sign here forever. £450 for him. He's saying here we're so close to an agreement. Do 400 then if we're close. I love Takeshi. I love him. There might be some more centre-backs to look at, and I know technically he's not a particularly great player, and I have just mentioned how Tomoya, you know, he's not good enough with his technicals, and I worry about them. There is a big difference, isn't there, between the two players? I know that the technicals here on Takeshi aren't great. Compared to Tomoya, little bit of an upgrade. I realised I'm sat here looking at some of the wide midfielders that have joined us, including this guy who definitely should not be a winger with 7 pace and 8 acceleration. Yes, I have said those the wrong way round. I should have acknowledged that. I should have just left it in there as a mistake. Someone would have left a comment correcting me. Now, there are a couple of advanced playmakers here that are maybe worth looking at. We've got here Kanazawa, who is a centre-mid playmaker kind of player. Obviously, it's not a position I've already mentioned as a potential upgrade, and I am conscious about overhauling the team too much with this promotion. But I do look at Ida, and I do feel like maybe it's worth getting a plan B to him. Right now, my plan B to him is Tsuyuki, and as good as Tsuyuki is, I don't know if I necessarily want him to be my go-to alternative at advanced playmaker. It's one of those areas where when you look at Ida's star rating, maybe there is scope out there to go out there and improve it. So I've got a couple of players here who have joined us, and in fact, of the better rated players, I'm kind of firmly underwhelmed. Oka here is not bad, though, at 18. This guy's quite good. I say he's quite good. I feel like the flare has deceived me there, because in the vision bit of the polygon, flare, passing, and vision are the 3 things that go into it. So you see the vision being out a little bit and go, he could be a playmaker. Then you realise he's only got 7 passing and 8 vision. And you just realise you're being lied to. I mean, there's strikers here, but I really don't need a striker. My Zono here is one of those players that doesn't have the best current ability according to our staff, but actually, compared to some of the other players we've looked at, I kind of like the look of him as a left wing back. Is that a mental thing to say? I know his technicals aren't crazy, but for the level we're at, they're not actually that bad. I think my main concern with him would be his physicals. If we just compare him with Kobayashi, who currently would be our starting left back, he is undoubtedly a bit of an upgrade. Where was he playing previously? He's playing at university level. Is he willing to sign a reasonable contract? Is he willing to be a reasonable human being? I fear the answer is no, because he's not specified his demands. We're about to find out here. Are they reasonable? No, they're not. Okay, having evaluated all the options out there of the players we've brought in, I think Numata here could be a decent little backup left-back option. Maybe even a starting left-back, but I think we could do better. Not 100% sold on him as a signing, but looks like value for money. Ishizuka, on the other hand, I think could be our starting centre-back option. So I like the look of this guy a lot. Last episode, I was looking at players with international caps, you might remember, but one thing I didn't really look at was it after the release window in Japan. I've noticed when I've looked at university teams and also just high school teams, there's a lot of non-Japanese players based in Japan that play for those teams, and they might not have been interested in me before, but as we've seen, a lot of players get released and are made available. Maybe there's some good players out there now. I'm looking at the list of players here. There's more North Koreans than were in the list yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, Kwang Chon was one of the players we looked at yesterday. I have updated the regen face pack, so there should be very few plasticine faces. All the new gens should now have proper faces. I looked at these guys before. There are some new Korean players here. We've got here Kim Won-chol. He is a centre-back who can play left-back and right-back. He's actually really, really either-footed. I'm not sure if he's better than Kobayashi, though. Kobayashi is like the benchmark for he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can do it all night. I don't know. His girlfriend told me that. Cannot confirm the rumour. Kim here is quite good. In fact, he's very good. If Kim has a reasonable price, I might be tempted to go for him. I feel like I've never really had North Korean footballers before. He wants to be a star player. I feel like I'm setting myself up here for heartbreak. Okay, he wants to be a star player. He's actually only asked for £400. I'm just going to give him this offer. I might cancel it immediately. I think what I actually want to do right now is compare Kim with Numata because they kind of serve a very similar role in the team. Which player would you rather have to be your versatile option? Given the fact that whoever I pick here is probably going to be the starting left back as well. I suppose that's another thing to consider, isn't it? I think Numata's better. As much as I want a North Korean footballer, Numata is just better, isn't he? Don't worry though, we've got another Kim here. Another North Korean Kim. Kim Chang-ho. This guy looks good. 18 years old. Could he be the Ida replacement? I need to get a scout report. I like the look of this guy. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing 11 passing. I'm seeing good work rate, good technique, decent vision, lots of good mentals as well. He's 18. He was playing for Sekio High School, who were relegated a couple of years ago. Last year, he looks like he was one of their main men, although they were not promoted. How much does he want? He wants to be a star player. I feel like I'm about to be hurt here by this guy, but I really like the look of him. He wants £650. Why so much? I think our current highest earner's on 500. He's just accepted 600 there. Maybe I could have got him a bit cheaper. I don't know if I want him or not. I should just compare Ida with him, really, shouldn't I? This is a good way to judge the comparison. He's so much better than Ida. Am I mad thinking for £600 it's probably worth it? I'm paying Ida £500 at the moment. I am being fleeced, aren't I? Now, annoyingly for us, I hit continue once, and then one chol suddenly had some offers. I was going to withdraw my offer for him anyway. But annoyingly, the man who I've just got attached to, Kim Chang-ho, has just had more offers go in for him. Teams in J3, another team in our own division. There's a load of J2 teams looking at him as well. I've offered him this £600 amount. I might live to regret this. I'm going to give him £650. I want him to say the line where he says it's very acceptable and he'll sign for me no matter what. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get that out of him. This guy looks so good, though. I don't know if I'm getting carried away because he's North Korean as well, but I really like the look of him. Like, he's really good. I've got the scouts looking at him. He could have really bad, obviously, pros and cons, couldn't he? He could be inconsistent, injury-prone, and hate important matches, but he looks good. He looks really good. Annoyingly, Numata has had a load of offers from universities. I don't know if Numata's necessarily the go-to option I was looking at for a left-back, but he was high on my list, and all these universities have shown up. Also, I've just noticed here, Aomori Yamada High School. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sign any of their players. This team won the National High School Championship in real life this year just gone, outside of Football Manager. So I expect that they probably have some decent players. I'm now looking through their players, and they're actually not very good. I mean, their key player here, Oki, might be good in the future, and he is only 16. He won't want to join me anyway, because high school teams in this database have a really high reputation to stop teams in our division signing them. He's decent. He's decent. He's not £800,000 decent, though, is he? New intermediary suggestion. Wesley of Gulf FC. Wesley, mate. Where is Gulf FC? It's in the UAE 2nd Division. I'll tell you what, whichever intermediary got my phone number, they know how to, well, find the kind of player I might be swung by. Why do I want to sign a Brazilian? Also, he's on £1,700 a week. I can't afford him. What a useless suggestion. I realise I looked at a few of the North Koreans. I didn't actually look at the rest of the players in this list. Is there any other particularly good players here? Kimura is a goalkeeper, has just on me, not looked at goalkeepers today. Any other players here to be excited by? It looks like there's actually a few real Japanese players here, as opposed to all the university players. Are any of these any good? I mean, they've got good world reputation. I'm going to be honest, thoroughly underwhelmed. Looks like there are more new players just constantly appearing on our list here. We've got here Yamada. He is another decent little playmaking option. Obviously, I am weighing up the idea of going for someone on top of Ida to play as that playmaker. This guy is very, very good. 18 years old. Didn't have the best of years, it has to be said, at high school level, but his actual attributes look phenomenal. When you compare him with Chang-ho, if I don't get Chang-ho, maybe I go in for Yamada. Also, the fact he's naturally an ungaunch, just that piques my attention straight away. Probably not great that he's naturally an ungaunch, because that means he's not very good at running, but he does look good. There's also Daiki Hara here, 18 years old. This guy looks good too. 16 first touch, 16 technique, 16 flair. I've never seen a player with that many 16s come up as a player that I could possibly sign. Immediately, he has my attention. Annoyingly, I can't compare him to the centre mids I've been looking at because he's naturally a striker. I'd want to play this guy, I think, at advanced playmaker. I feel like he could really do a job there. Annoyingly, all these young players don't have agents either, so I just have to approach them right away and see what they want. He's got 14 goals in 33 appearances, and apparently his strength is skill. He's just skillful. He wants £900. Yeah, Daikihara, no thank you, mate. No thank you. I just remembered earlier in today's episode, I was looking at all the different assignments we were doing, and there was a goalkeeper that kind of popped up that looked good, wasn't there? Mukojima, 18 years old, super inconsistent, super injury prone, but my staff love him. I can't deal with an injury-prone goalkeeper who just makes mental mistakes. He is the key player of the high school he plays for. Iguchi here is their captain. He's not good. I was wondering if there was just some good players at the school. Turns out, unfortunately, not the case. Ishizuka set to sign for us. This is an interesting deal because it's a 3-year deal with an optional 2-year extension. It's the first time I've been able to offer a long-term deal to a player like this. I really like the look of Ishizuka. He's super consistent, decent in the air. Not the craziest in the air, it has to be said, but I feel like alongside Kim, he could be very, very complimentary. I've looked at some other centre-back options. They all had unreasonable demands. I'm going to sign Takeshi. Welcome aboard. The staff love it. He's an talented player and an important player. They're unsure about his recent form. What was wrong with his form? Okay, yeah, admittedly, his form wasn't great last year in the division below the one that we played in last year. It's just dawned on me, really. Should I be looking at the Kanto Soccer League Division 1 for players? Like, there are players here in, like, the Media Dream 11 that I should be going after. Like, like this guy, Sekiguchi, I mean, he's very, very good. I don't think I can sign him from his university team. Owasso is the next player who's also a university player. He also looks very, very good. Value of up to £1 million. Probably a problem. Tokyo United have signed Kudo here, who's a very good left-back. If I'd had this guy on my radar, I probably would have signed him. He's better than a lot of the left-backs I've looked at. I'm fuming. They might not even be in our division anymore. Tokyo United still finding ways to annoy me. More good news, by the way. Numata here has decided to go to us. He's turned down a load of university teams. That is not something that I would have seen last year, I don't think. £170 to this guy. I'm bringing him in thinking he's probably going to be our left back. A little bit concerned about his pace and his overall ability. This is one of those transfers where if I was looking for depth, I'd go for him. But actually, I was kind of hoping to find a new starter. Compared to Kobayashi, like, is he better? I feel like he's like a side grade, but if Kobayashi's going to be on the bench, maybe it's just okay. We've looked around, there wasn't a load of left-back options out there. His wages are reasonable. We have the option to extend his contract by another year. If I sign him, I guess he could always just end up being a bit of a depth player on the bench, couldn't he? I think that might be the play. You know what? I'm going to sign him, and there might be some other options out there that I end up going for, but I do feel like the defence in general just needs more depth. Last year's kind of go-to left-back backup was Aoki, and to be frank with Aoki, who's somewhere on this screen here, hidden away amongst all the players. I have got loads of stuff hidden. Let's just hit reset here. Here he is, Shunta Aoki. This guy's just not very good, is he? He's got free balance. Like, the wind blows, he falls over. Just realised, right, he's on £325. I am being robbed. You know what, Aoki, I do love you, mate. I feel like I should probably be looking to sell you. And equally, actually, while I've got this on my mind, I probably should be getting rid of players like Matsumoto if I can. I'm going to offer out all the players I demoted to the B team last episode. Loyal servants to the club. Players who have been here since the beginning, but just the sad reality is I don't need to be paying them £200+ a week to play in a B team that doesn't even play in an actual division. Apparently Numata has potential to be a J3 player and he could be a good, important player for this division. So I feel like, you know what, maybe my expectations for what I need to get out of this division are too high. I suppose really I'm just continuously comparing myself to Nankatsu. And the issue is when you compare yourself against Nankatsu, they do have some very, very good players. And equally, actually, Sendai University, who can't be promoted, also have like just loads of players dominating the Media Dream 11. This team can't even be promoted, but their team is absolutely stacked with talent. One of their best players here, actually, Yamaguchi, he is currently subject to a transfer bid of 120k from a J2 team. This kind of feeds back to what I was mentioning earlier, where kind of J2, J1 teams do have money to spend. It's one of the reasons why I really want to avoid those release clauses certain players were trying to get in. Have, by the way, got a load of our backup players to sign new deals. Akai signed a new 2-year deal. Kobayashi has signed a 2-year deal as well. Just trying to get some of these good depth options. Hasegawa as well. Whether or not these are going to be long-term options, I suppose is a bit of a question mark, but they had contracts expiring in 2027 at the end of the year, and for the sake of just maintaining a bit of squad, I was going to say hierarchy, but a bit of squad gelling really as much as anything, I wanted to keep around some of these depth players who I think can be good for us. I feel like someone like Akai is always going to just be a useful option to have. And actually now when you look at the current first team, whilst there are a number of players here with contracts expiring in 2027, some of which I would really like to extend, I'm looking at you, Otter, please sign a new deal at some point. The reality is that there is now a decent core to the team contracted through 2028 and 2029 in some cases. Many of these players as well have those optional contract extensions too. No offers for any of those players that I offered out is a little bit annoying. It means there's currently no transfers outgoing. In terms of ingoings, I'm still hoping that Chang Ho is going to choose us. Still only one J3 team has made a bid. I feel like I've offered as much as I'm willing to offer him. I really like the look of this guy too. So this is how the team is looking right now with all the new additions we've made. I'm always kind of conscious with YouTube save games especially about changing the team too much, but the reality is, especially at the level we're at, we have so many players only on 1 or 2 year deals that sometimes you're just forced to change players. I've mentioned it before, but in real life, Tokyo 23 retained 4 players going into the 2024 season from the 2023 one. With our promotion, we have added a lot of strength and a lot of new faces to the team. Otter, Ida, Kim, Mitsuhashi and Matsuzawa currently the only players surviving actually from last year. We've got 5 new players in the starting 11. I feel like we've added them in some perhaps surprising areas as well. Kayanoki, I think the new left mid, is going to be an interesting option. I feel awful for Nakajima, who's been knocked out, but actually as a bench option who can play on either wing and has proven his ability to just get goals, get assists. I think Nakajima will be great in that kind of role. Of course, out on the right-hand side, it's Komori as well, who we've signed, the 18-year-old. Critically, I suppose it's worth noting with our squad, and especially with this starting 11 now, when you look at the age of these players, we have got a very, very young squad with a lot of potential. I'm hoping that although there's been a fair amount of turnover this year, that won't be required in subsequent years, because some of these players might just be able to make the steps up with us. I suppose one thing that would help with that quest would be if I could improve the facilities and stuff. They are just depressing to look at, but given our bank balance and where we're at, the reality is we're not going to be getting significant money unless we either go on a crazy cup run or can get a couple more promotions. J2 is where financially things will start to look a lot less angry and sad and panicky. At the moment, we're just spending within our means where we can. Stuff like the facilities has to wait. I'm still keeping a very close eye on goalkeeping options. I think it was Junpei Noda we looked at the last episode who could have been a really good goalkeeping option, but his demands were just too high. There is another player here, Tara Kobayashi, who's popped up on my radar. He's another very eccentric goalkeeper. I feel like the eccentricity being a big number is maybe distracting me from how good he actually is. Although then again, when you compare him with Matsuzawa, it's kind of hard to view him as anything but an upgrade. I suppose the issue here is how much money is he going to want? He's only played 38 games in his career as a goalkeeper. He only wants £400, does Kobayashi? 8 jumping reach doesn't inspire me with confidence. How is he compared to Sasaki? I keep forgetting, Sasaki is still just here as an option, isn't he? I mean, is he better than Sasaki? I feel like there's not a world of difference in all honesty. There's just goalkeepers here that I've looked at and I've had on my radar for a while, and none of them are that exciting. I am keeping an eye out on them. If we sort by world rep, there is Haruki Saruta here, who has high rep, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure why. He's played 2 games in his career in J3 and never played any other football. He's just not very good. This is why world reputation is just a pointless thing to kind of judge ability on in isolation. I mean, if Junpei Noda changes his mind and decides he does actually want to talk to us and ask for reasonable demands, I might go for him just because he's 18. But yeah, not loving our goalkeeping prospects right now. I'm hoping really that at some point on this scouting recommendation screen, we get a free agent offer for a goalkeeper who I just instantly think, yes, you're the man. Right now, Sasaki and Kobayashi, who I just looked at, are the only 2 players that have popped up high in terms of star rating, and Noda as well. Can someone else please show up here as a goalkeeper? That'd be nice. This guy looks very, very good. Takanori Sasaki. He is showing up in this list of recommended players for us. He's 18, free agent offer. He can play striker, centre attacking mid, and centre mid. Could you just play him as the advanced playmaker in the middle? I think you probably could. He's 18 years old. He looks very, very good. Had a very good year last year as well for his high school team. I suppose the question is, how does he compare with Chang Ho? And the answer to that is he might be marginally better, But as good as Sasaki is, not North Korean. So that goes against him. I maybe should just check his demands, mind you. I've already got a Sasaki who might be joining me as a goalkeeper. If I sign too many Sasakis, I'm just going to end up confusing myself. Probably will need to scout this guy further. Never mind. He wants £800. Have to say, just going through this list of players that are getting recommended to me, there are still some very, very good players out there that just don't have clubs. I feel like I could end today's episode before the end of March, come back to start the season, and still have made some more new transfers, because there's some decent players out there. I'm still being asked about Sasaki. I'm going to try and delay it again. I don't think Sasaki's the goalkeeper. I just feel like the 4 jumping reach scares me too much. And Noda, who I was maybe a little bit more keen on, he's turned down my offer to trial him. Although, he does now want to talk to me. He didn't want to talk to me literally yesterday. He did want the club to be a stepping stone. I'm going to try and remove that and hope he doesn't ask for a release clause. His wage demands are really reasonable. I like the look of him a lot, but the release clause, I don't want to deal with release clauses on a goalkeeper. Noda, you're really upsetting me. He's got a perfectionist personality, though. Do I sign him with a view to then get him a new contract sooner rather than later? Is that just the play? Bring in Noda, see if he's any good. If he's not good, not the end of the world. If he is good, get him on a new deal, get rid of the minimum release clause. I mean, I suppose it's a free transfer. I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but here we are. I've had this bid accepted, £400 a week for him, and I'm a little bit concerned about his aerial ability not being quite as good as, say, Matsuzawa, for a little bit of comparison, but his shot stopping is great, his distribution's good, mentals are so good, perfectionist personality on an 18-year-old goalkeeper. He's actually capped for Japan's under-20s team, which is kind of mad. I wonder, actually, if there's more players here that I should be looking at. Kanta Imai here. Hadn't really dawned on me to look at the Japanese national youth teams. I assume he's not going to want to join me. I'd assume wrong. Kanta Imai. He's quite good, isn't he? He's very good. Let's find out what the wage demands are. If he asks for like £1,000, it's going to be a problem. Also, apparently we're a long way away from negotiating terms. Do you guys ever have this when you're like trying to sign a player and whatever, and when you get to the offer bit, it feels like no matter what you offer them, they're always going to be upset? Like I'm hitting suggest here, and he's still like, we're a long way away from the deal. What more do you want from me? Genuinely, what more do you want from me? My aims for this year, top half finish. Long-term aims for the club, make the playoffs. How does that sound? I can't say anything to him that's going to make him join me here, can I? I don't know why the game pretends I can. I mean, that is one option down here. Are there more players here who are Japanese free agents that I should be looking at? I'll be honest, of these players I've looked at so far, not as excited. Already looked at the under-20s. How about the under-19s? There are players here. There is Azawa, you are rubbish, and there is also Tanaki, who, I mean, not bad, not exciting, I think is what I'll say. Okay, well, this is upsetting. Chang Ho is going to Giravans, so the plan to get him in to be our advanced playmaker does go out the window. Yeah, he's gone to a J3 team. I guess I want to go for some of those other players we looked at now. I mean, certainly Sasaki and the money he was asking for doesn't seem that unreasonable. He's not going to want to talk to me for a while. I've been looking through this list because there was a lot of different options, wasn't there? Like Daikihara, who I looked at before. The man who I'm most convinced could do a job for us is actually Yamada here. Naturally a centre attacking mid, but can also play centre mid. If we just compare him with Daiki here, you can kind of see the head-to-head comparison. I do like the edge that Yamada has when it comes to the physicals. I feel like that's kind of important. He has not the best goal-scoring record, nor creative record for a player I think could be our advanced playmaker, but I do like the look of him a lot. And at least compared to Yusei Ida, I think it's pretty safe to say he's a little bit of an upgrade. He's a massive upgrade. He does want to be a star player. How much does he want? He wants £400, which is kind of reasonable. I will want an optional 1-year extension. I'm going to try and haggle down his wages here. I know what's going to happen here. I'm going to make an offer, going to be happy with this. Tomorrow, a load of teams are going to make bids on him, and I'm going to be forced to up my bid in a desperation move to make sure I get him. I really like the look of Yamada here. I'm now paranoid. I now feel like I just want to go through the rest of all these players here in case any of them are any good. I mean, has Rio lowered his demands? Rio now only wants to be an important player. Rio, do you want picking up in the morning, pal? If I could get Rio for £500, that would be very, very good. Let's see what he says to this. I'm kind of lowballing him early. Yeah, he did not appreciate that. How about 550? Rio, 550. £600 for Rio. I don't really need another centre-back. I've just signed, you know, a new centre-back, but Rio's very, very good. Like, I've literally just signed Takeshi, haven't I? And then I could be about to sign Rio too. I mean, who would you rather have? Or do you just go with both of them? But if I go with both of them, I'm getting rid of Kim. And I feel like I do need to keep a little bit of stability in the team this year. And also, I'm literally wearing a South Korean football shirt for Kim. It'd be a bit treacherous, wouldn't it, if I just replace him now? But Rio is very, very good. It's the 14 defending that's got me. I've never seen a point that far out on a graph on a player I can sign. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get an updated scout report on Rio. I feel like that is probably needed. We'll prioritise that assignment. The Chang Ho scouting assignment, absolutely pointless. Might as well cancel that one now. Also, there's loads of players here that I'm scouting that have found clubs since I started the assignment, so we'll just select all them and cancel them. It just dawned on me, last year we were in the non-leagues, I could sign players whenever. There is actually a transfer window here in the Japanese Football League. It closes on the first day of the season. So I'm talking about all these plans about, I can sign players during the year. I actually really can't do that. Players sign free transfers can be registered at any time. So I have got that going in my favour, but that's certainly a consideration we need to make. I have the ability to sign Noda. I feel like I don't want him. Also, it says I have a transfer budget of £72,000. Did I get some money off the sale of Thingamadoodle? I forgot his name already. I got some money off the sale of Watanabe that I didn't realise I had. Well, I'm not going to spend that transfer budget because we don't have it, but I could sign players for money if I wanted to. Do I want to sign Noda? I feel like Noda is really, really good. My concern is I sign him here, then I look to either renew his contract and he doesn't want to sign a new deal, or we don't even reach that stage, and before I can table a deal without a release clause, someone triggers his release clause. He looks so good. I need a goalkeeper. This is probably going to set me up for heartbreak. I'm going to sign him. I know. I could just go with a safer bet, a player who I know will stick around. I'm sorry, Sasaki. You're not coming to me, son. We will ask for confirmation on this transfer and then not actually get the confirmation. Cancel the deal. Welcome, Junpei Noda. This guy, I mean, he looks good, doesn't he? Consistent player. Apparently, he has a tendency to do the unexpected with or without the ball. Is that really what you want in your goalkeeper? I'm not sure it is. He's a leading player for our current division. He has a tendency to punch. Oh, that's going to be the football he's hitting. This guy could be the bane of my existence. I'm kind of looking forward to the new season already. Just remembered I've got a load of players in on trial. They can all go now, can't they? Just got 20 players chilling in the first team that I just forgot were here because I had the filter set up to hide them. Apologies to these players. They're probably holding out hope I was going to sign some of them. Of these players, by the way, Takada here was the best of the bunch. He's actually quite a good left winger, but I don't need a left winger. Look, we have Kayanoki. He's good enough. I feel like we've actually been pretty productive when it comes to transfers today. There's probably a couple of players I'd like to move on and sell that just haven't had bids for them. I might push to sell them more just as pre-season goes on. But we've added in some really good players. The defensive positions are kind of sorted. I'm really not sure if I want to sign Rio or not. I feel like he probably isn't a player I necessarily need, especially for the money that we're paying. But we'll see if he would want to join me anyway. And then in terms of Yamada, I actually really like the look of Yamada. I think it's the 13 passing with 12 vision. From a creativity point of view, I do feel like he could offer a lot that Ida maybe doesn't offer quite to the same elite level. Ida is just a bit of a one-dimensional player. I feel like he could be a good player off the bench, Ida. But yeah, it is dawning on me. I'm making a lot of changes to the first team this year. I have really got to hope that the players just gel and get on well immediately. Otherwise, a lot of first-team players that I've kind of just disregarded upon promotion, I might be calling back upon if we get some major injuries. Tell you what would be very annoying now is if in this recommendation list a new goalkeeper appears after I've just signed one with a release clause. That would really piss me off. By the way, our media prediction for the year now has climbed up to 3rd, which I think is a sign of the players that we've brought in. Interesting to note, by the way, our average squad age here is 22, as you can see. I was flicking through the other teams in our division. Tochigi, their average age is 23. Well, as I flick through these teams, you'll see so many of these teams have really low average ages. I felt like we had a young squad, but I think it is just a thing at kind of this level of football. Teams do just have these younger teams, kind of a lot of them having players in their early 20s. I suppose Sendai are a weird example because they're a university team, but just for example, Gainair here, or Gainar? No idea. Relegated last year, by the way, from J3. They have the same average age as us. It does just seem like when it comes to first teams at this level, you know, you are just building a team with a lot of younger players who come from high schools and universities. It's kind of different. It makes this save game feel quite unique to other ones I've done. My scouts are saying that Rio is an A+ player with J3 ability and J1 potential, but his low determination could hinder his game. He's really good, isn't he? I don't need another centre-back. Why did I sign Takeshi? I mean, I know why I signed him. It's because he had the name Takeshi in the name, and it reminded me of a 90s TV show. But in hindsight, it just wasn't a good decision. Also, that's the wrong Rio to compare. I mean, maybe these two guys are just my starting centre-backs. Maybe I've just done Kim very dirty whilst wearing a South Korean football shirt. Okay, Yamada wants to join us as a star player. Only a 2-year deal for him, but I think he's going to be a decent little addition to the team. Not sure if he's going to displace Ida from the starting 11 right away. I mean, he probably will, to be honest. But don't be surprised to see these two players kind of rotating around. And Rio can also sign for us. Okay, do I do this? It's a 3-year deal with an optional 2-year extension. We have him locked in with no release clause. I don't need another centre-back, but I do need a player this good. I'm going to sign him. This could be a horrific error. He joins the team, and now that I've signed him, he has J3 potential. Of course he does. I've been lied to. I've been betrayed. I'm going to hope that our assistant manager is wrong and the scouts were right about how good Rio could be. Why did I just trust the scouts? I saw J1 potential and got excited. I've been betrayed. With the signing of Rio, by the way, we are now spending pretty much the entire wage budget. There is £400 free. I think technically I could rejig the money around a little bit to get a little bit more wage budget. I'll do that to a certain extent. But given our current club balance, don't think there's going to be 2 more big names joining us now. We've got a lot more players on kind of £500+ than we had previously. In fact, I say that, that's not even technically true. There's a few new players on £500+, a lot more on £300+. But actually, when I look at the squad now, it looks good. Is it too big? That's what I'm now wondering. 28 players. Might have signed too many. Sugawara, I love you, mate. I think you're going down to the B team. I probably should sell him. Which pains me to say because he was a decent little starter for us last year, but I just don't need him anymore. Aoki, you can go down to the B team. I realise, actually, if I just demote some players, it'll make me feel calmer about things. Although when I sort by ability, Akai looks like a player I should be demoting. This man is not going anywhere. He is a national treasure. I do have a lot of centre-backs, don't I? Yeah, I do have a lot of centre-backs. I feel like I might have got a little bit carried away with transfers today, which, let's be honest, it happens to the best of us, but we've added some really significant quality to the team. The fact that our expectations for the year from the media have shot up is certainly giving me hope that promotion is on the cards. You can see we are now actually ahead of Chigi City with the addition of Rio. Have a sneaking suspicion clashes against Nankatsu are going to be pivotal this year. In terms of when we play Nankatsu, by the way, we play them in June, but before all of that, there's a fair few games of football to be played, including what we're coming back for next time, which is our first game of the year against Brio Becker Urayasu. I hope I've said that correctly. Their key player is Shun Ito. He's quite good. The overall balance isn't looking quite as healthy as I was hoping it might, but with so many new additions to the squad, and lots of them on longer term deals, there is at least some players that we could look to cash into in future years. A little bit like we did with Watanabe for the year just gone. It's funny, right? I was a little bit paranoid having battled to get promoted that relegation would be on the cards, but the bump in reputation, the little bit of extra money that we've had, and some pretty good recruitment, I think, in terms of players that were offered to us and that we've managed to snap up on decent wages, leaves us in a position where I think if I don't get promoted this year, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. We've got a young squad and it's an exciting squad with lots of potential to fulfill. Are we going to be able to fulfill that potential? That is a question which we'll begin to answer next time out. The season starts in 4 weeks' time. I'm going to go away and do pre-season. We'll be back here tomorrow with more action as always, and I hope to see you guys next time. Like I said at the top of things, if you've enjoyed today's episode, go down below, leave a like. I'll see you next time for the start of Season 3. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.